I'm Jimmy Carr.
And I'm Laverne. It's 10 o'clock. We're live on Channel 4. This is Welcome to 10 o'clock live. We are here to pick away at the scab that we call news, to bring you all the fascinating information you could possibly ask for, and even some jokes as well. But how, oh how, are we going to do it? Well, David, this... I'd like to offer my most sincere apologies to my three colleagues, David, Charlie and Sugar Tits. See you after the break. Now, Jimmy, back to tonight's guest, Alistair Campbell. He is a spin doctor. He seemed quite convincing to me. How much of it did you believe? The effect on domestic politics, because, you know, because of figures like Campbell and, you know, Coulson, who, Charlie, you just talking about, we seem to have kind of entered this cul-de-sac where politics is all about popularity over policy. It's like the X Factor. You just have to vote for your favourite. It doesn't matter what they say. I mean, but how do you ever get out of that? Because then it becomes like an arms race, you know. So one sort of party is and then the other lot have to get one. I mean, well, do you think we can ever...
Essentially, all cabinet ministers were saying the same thing, and they got into terrible trouble if they went off message. And
That's some music. They should bring it back. Listen, on that note, it's time for a little break for us. We'll see you soon. Wow, got heated. OK. I want to take a minute to talk to you about the company who stand to benefit from all the tagging that's going to be part of the new TPIMs. They're called Serco. Now, you might not know it, but a huge amount of what you think you're paying your government to do, you're actually paying your government to pay Serco to do. Serco is what's called a service company. They service Britain, and in the process, they turn over £4 billion a year. Serco do a lot of tagging, but as well as that, they look after 5,000 speed cameras, 4 prisons and 2 immigration detention centres. That's just for starters. They're also involved in leisure centres, hospitals, schools, and let's not forget our nuclear weapons. Now, I'm sure that Serco are a perfectly decent company when they're not sticking beds in prison toilets to cut costs, which they did in 2008 at one of their prisons in Doncaster. But I'm a little bit worried that they seem to be running the country I love. Now, maybe it's just me, but being so vast and with such huge government contracts, I think we ought to be able to know exactly what they're up to. But we can't. At the moment, there's no way to find out how private companies like Serco run our public services. Nick Clegg promised to make government more transparent by improving freedom of information, but seems to have forgotten about private companies like Serco. Really, Clegg? Not entirely keeping his word? Pledge keeper Clegg? Westminster's Mr. Pledge, the winner of the Queen's Medal for pledge keeping? It just doesn't add up. Still, why not let Nick know what you think by dropping him an email? You can find out how to contact him on our website. You might want to use phrases like, "this is wrong," and "mysterious, faceless, unaccountable, profit-driven Leviathan." Or, if you're a public sector worker who's just been made redundant, why not write to Serco and ask them for a job? But I'd probably avoid the phrase mysterious, faceless, unaccountable, profit-driven Leviathan. See you after the break. Welcome back to 10 o'clock live. So we're nearly at the end of the show. Time for a quick catch-up before we go. OK, so control orders, obviously, on everyone's lips. Now, my understanding of the new control orders is the surveillance orders is a bit like being 15 in 9 certain time and everybody listens to your phone calls. I mean, what? Just like, no, find out who they are by smell alone? Charlie, where do you see this ending, Charlie? Well, the Times. But, you know, I mean, the new control orders, they are better than the old methods. Say the 1970s method of dealing with people who were a bit terroristy, which was just repeatedly throwing them down the stairs until they admitted their guilt. I mean, these... to the viewers, I wonder what the... talking about Andy Coulson, and, oh, yes, there's the headline. Rail bosses investigated over alleged misuse of public cash. It's the story on everyone's lips. So the show left. Listen, I've got to cut you off there, but that is, yeah. That's all we got time for tonight. We will see you after a week of your life. Have a wonderful one. Good night, everyone. Good night.